Hello, everyone, and welcome to yet another thrilling episode of the Climate Voices podcast. I'm your host, Omesa Mokaya. This is the fourth episode of the Voices of the Future series, a special series highlighting and shining a spotlight on young people leading the journey and weaving environmental conservation into the fabric of their youthful lives. And these are the people that I personally consider trailblazers because the young generation is taking over the spaces and showing and leading the way. And we need to amplify most of these stories to the world so that everyone else gets to know what they are doing. Joining us today on this fourth episode is a remarkable and incredible young person that I've had a pleasure of working with for the last couple of months, who recently graduated from Malden High School and will be soon joining college. Tsering Dolkar, welcome to the Climate Voices podcast.
Thank you.
Can you briefly tell us a little bit about yourself and what sort of activated you into the journey of environmental conservation?
Hello, everyone. I'm Tsering Dolkar, and I graduated from Malden High School recently, and I will be going to Bryn Mawr College in Pennsylvania for my undergrad studies. And I will be majoring in biology with minor in environmental studies. For me, what sparked my interest was being part of many communities since I was young, because I have been moving from countries to countries since young, but where I grew up, where I first grew up, we live in a community where everything is walking distance, and it's just me, my relation with nature is so strong, but at the same time knowing it's changing rapidly. That's what sparked my interest, and I want to try my best to minimize the effect of environmental changing, how fast it is changing. So I hope to work individually while at the same time being part of many community, because I believe in individual works where it can lead up to bigger works. So yeah.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that interesting story. You've mentioned that you've moved from country to country. I've moved from community to community in my country as well, and realized different things happening to the environment and people struggling with a lot of things like food security and water shortage and desertification and all things like that. Yeah, so building up on what you said, are there some things you have noticed that are kind of striking to you that are specifically things that you're passionate about addressing?
Oh yeah, it definitely is, because every country I've been, the weather is kind of different in each. For example, India is really hot and humid, while in here you have 4 seasons. Yeah, so I've definitely seen some noticeable changes, but for me, I feel I've been in a community where those weren't much problem at all. But over time, I was in an AP environmental class this year, and I didn't know that India has water problem, water pollution and stuff. So I didn't know, because I live in a community where water wasn't that much of a problem. But learning that, for me, it wasn't noticeable changes. It was more of learning later on that there was a changes, and there's still changes going on. So for impact, I've definitely known people around where they have had impacts because of those problems.
Yeah, every part we go to, they're experiencing disproportionate impacts of especially climate change. Different communities, like you mentioned, are impacted differently. Some face the challenges more than the others. Some have more capacity to respond to those than others, especially the wealthy ones. Yeah, so you've been part of the Youth Action Collaborative program at Malden High School. So are there other projects that you're part of, or any activities you're taking part in, especially in environmental conservation, and particularly regarding to the Youth Action Collaborative? Is there anything that is outstanding that you have learned from that program that we've had for the past couple of months?
So for other projects, I'm not part of many, so for me, I'm still struggling to find community where they work for environmental justice and stuff. But so I'm part of a club in my high school I used to, where we go around and clean like parks and stuff. And also I recently, my friends were doing like event about composting and stuff. So I take part in it, where I like go around station learning about composting and recycling and stuff. So even though I haven't been in other many projects, I've definitely want to be part of more. And in college, by choosing minor as environmental studies, I want to learn more about environmental first and then take part of like as many things as possible. Because I feel like environmental issues not one issue. There's like so many issues within environment.
Definitely, there are so many issues that are intertwined, and the one thing that they have in common is that they're affecting, especially environmental justice communities, more than other communities. So you mentioned the word environmental justice, and that's something that I've been passionate about, addressing some of these challenges for those communities which have done the least to contribute to those, but yet they're the ones who are impacted the most, because they say injustice anyway is a threat to justice everywhere. So what about the Youth Action Collaborative? How was your experience with the YAC program over the spring semester at Malden High School?
Oh, it was definitely really amazing because I learned about so many issues, and there are many things within my community where like which I never think was the issue, but it is the issue. And through YAC, like I'm able to like learn more about like other young teenagers interested about environmental issues and stuff. So it was definitely amazing experience, and it's such a regret that I had to like leave early most of the time. I learned so many things in like those short amounts of time.
I know we went through a lot of things, a lot of issues and a lot of skill building sessions. Is there something that was of particular interest to you among all the things that we went to? Is there anything that was exciting to you?
Oh, there's few for me. So like the first one was power mapping.
Mhm.
I forgot the name, but she was
She's called
oh yeah,
Cynthia.
her experiences for food injustice and housing injustice. Like I really love whole her presentation. It was
Mhm.
such a impactful for me. And also like the power mapping. I really like they approach this step to like know who is with them and who is not with them, and to adjust who should they target. I really like this part of activities, and I'm definitely using this in my future projects. And the other things that was really interesting were like lead piping, like the issues between public and private property. It was interesting, and I want to learn more about it because I feel like it is a big issue in Malden.
Yes, absolutely. Lead exposure or lead contamination is a big issue to everyone and should be addressed. And yeah, about power mapping, it's a very important or fundamental resource for environmental organizing. And it's always good to know who are the key players that will be supporting our causes. For instance, if we're standing for environmental justice, we need to know who has the power to make that difference, who has the power to make it change. And power mapping is definitely a good skill for anyone who's in the environmental organizing space to learn. And I'm glad you got to learn that, and you're saying you're going to be using that in your future. You mentioned that you're moving to college and you'll be majoring in biology and minoring in environmental studies, right?
Yes.
Is there anything that particularly pushed you towards choosing environmental studies, for instance, as your minor?
Oh, yeah, definitely. So like if you ask me what will your major be like before the senior year, I would have just chose I would be like, oh, just biology. But for me, like learning in my AP environmental class, I learned about like all this problem that we have, and like being more aware of like my surrounding and those issues. I feel like that definitely led me to choose environmental studies as minor because I want to learn more about it. And
Mhm.
also like YAC, because before the YAC, I wasn't part of anything. I just wanted to like make change and like be part of a community that cares about what we're facing right now. But I feel like after being part of YAC, I learned so many great things, and I definitely want to learn more about it in college. And I feel like there's still so many more things to learn. But YC in particular, like I learned being an advocate and speaking up for the issues. and like ways that I can approach to like speak out.
The good news is that the program is not ending there. As you know, we launched the alumni program and you'll be part of the alumni chapter and you'll be engaged in one way or another. Whether you're in college, we'll all stay connected and be learning about what everyone else is doing and how we can all support each other, because whether we like it or not, we are all in this together. So are there some things that you consider triumphs or little wins that you've had that you like to share with us today?
So for me, it's just like learning about it so I can use it in future courses. So like, yeah, those are like great start and success. And I definitely want to take part in the final project that we had. And for me, success is not defined as like really big. It can be like as small as cleaning up your community, like volunteering to clean up. So like we can see those small changes. And also like it was like last month, I think, that I went to the club that I mentioned that I'm part of in high school, that they just like started this year, and we with other organization we cleaned up Mystic Lake around surrounding that, and I saw like so many objects, like so many different, there's so many glasses, plastic, chips, packets and stuff. So just cleaning those up and seeing like those small changes was first step towards success, I believe.
No win is a small win.
Mm-hmm.
Every win is a win. Anything little that you do for the environment is a win. So are there any challenges you've faced in this journey, or as you're trying to like get involved more into organizing? Are there any or notable challenges that you've faced before?
For me, it's more like a personal challenges. Like I'm not that social person, so like speaking out is pretty hard for me. But like I'm trying to improve it by participating in multiple organizing events and stuff. So yeah. And other challenge I would say is like just starting out is kind of hard, but once you do, it kind of flows in. So like YAC, I really wanted to be part of it, but I was nervous. Like, what if I learn nothing, and what if it's not the thing that I want to do, you know? But later on, like it flows in. Like for YAC, I'm able to like take part in the discussion we were having and learning new stuff. I feel like those were great step toward the problems that I think I have. But yeah.
We all face challenges, you know. Nobody's born a public speaker, for instance. Everyone somehow learns to be what they are. That's why we have some of these workshops or sessions like the ones we had, you know, practicing public speaking and writing letters to the editor, because we have to constantly keep practicing that to be good at something. And the good news is you're still young, so you're still going to continue learning. So it's okay to feel nervous most of the times in things that we do, because everyone else always feels nervous, but it's how you handle that really counts. And getting out of your comfort zone is the most important thing for everyone who is willing to take part in any course, because I mentioned this in the previous episode, that you never get to discover new horizons unless you're willing to lose sight of the shore. So you have to get out of your comfort zone and be willing to go out there, put yourself out there, because there are always those support groups and people doing a lot of things that we're interested in. So when you go to college, I'm sure you're going to find a lot of young people interested in environmental conservation and sustainability and climate organizing, and they're doing a lot of amazing stuff. How do you envision the future of our planet, and what role do you think the young people can play in that?
Oh, so I've learned from like other people that they did not have good environmental education in their school. So I feel like young generation plays a really important part, and I feel like our generation are more curious and they are not afraid to take steps to learn what they're interested in. So our generation can definitely bring many changes if we're taught to be.
Yeah. Is there a specific future that you envision for yourself, that if everything goes well, this is how you will want the future to be?
Oh, definitely. So like for me, by learning about this kind of issues right now, because my country has like big problem with environmental environmental issues. And for me, by being part of community here, I want to make it more global so I can bring awareness to what's happening in my country about water pollution and climate changing faster than the rest of the world.
Yeah, absolutely. Part of what is happening in my country is something that has also informed what I do at the moment, and it's been part of the basis of my journey towards conservation, because I see a lot of things that are happening that sometimes I think in an ideal situation shouldn't be happening if everyone did the right thing and we all lived sustainably, for instance, and stop the greed that we are seeing around the world. And for that to happen, we all need to do our parts. You mentioned before that you're having all these challenges and you have learned to overcome them, and now you're putting yourself out there more. You're moving into college and you're going to be taking environmental studies as your minor, and you're going to be involved more into this space. So for other young people, for instance, who are willing to get started and also be involved in this journey but don't know where to start, or are kind of struggling and kind of being nervous about getting out there to be involved, is there any advice you can give to some young person out there like that who wishes to be involved, for example, and doesn't know where to start?
Oh yeah, definitely. So for whoever listening from Malden High, definitely join YAC because you will learn so many great things. And
Yes.
for others, I would say just know that in your community there are more resources. You just look out, just speak out to adults. Because for me, the thing that I learned in senior year is that always reach out to whoever is there. Because for me, college process was hard. It was my first time, so I didn't know where to start. But our school have so many guidance counselor and college career counselor and stuff. So we have so many opportunities. The only thing you have to do is reach out.
Yes, any young person who's listening, always reach out. Tsering says there are all these opportunities out there. Reach out and you'll definitely get a lot of opportunities to be involved in throughout the entire journey since you got started being involved in this. Is there anything that has surprised you the most?
For me, it's how much I can learn, and there's still more things to learn. But what I learned so far through this program, through my classes, it's so huge amount. And for me, I can use those stuff to educate. I can start with my family first, and then they can share what I learned to other people. It will spread from one person to a person.
Definitely. Learning never stops. So everyone has to keep learning because we live in a very dynamic society where everything is changing. We have to keep learning because learning never stops. And like you mentioned, we all get surprised about how much knowledge we are able to consume. So we have to keep updating ourselves. Any last words or call to action for anyone who's listening to this?
This is a really big threat, and everyone should take part in, regardless of whatever you're studying, whatever major you wanna pursue. Just know that environmental issue is real and everyone can be part of the action.
Yes, this is real and everyone can be part of the action. Don't be left out. When the ship sails, make sure you're counted. Make sure you're part of the group that is fighting all the injustices that we are witnessing or seeing around the world. Make sure that you're part of the larger group standing for a sustainable planet and making the world a better place for the future generations. Thank you so much for your time and for sharing your story, Tsering. This has been so amazing, and it's been so nice to have you on the show, and we wish you all the best as you go to college.
Thank you so much. Also, good luck for next year. There are gonna be so many amazing Malden High students that will be joining next year.
Absolutely. We can't wait to see them, and we can't wait to work with them and go through this journey again together.
Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much everyone for joining. And also a reminder, this is the Voices of the Future series, which is a special series dedicated to sharing stories and highlighting spotlights to young people who are leading the way in making the world a better place. This is the Climate Voices podcast, and I'm your host, Omesa Mokaya.